All right, guys, it's time to finally answer the question. Foam or liquid? Which of these is better at helping prevent hair loss and regrow new hair? So a little backstory, I've been using Rogaine and minoxidil, specifically minoxidil, for over 10 years. I love it, it's great. It's one of the few hair loss topicals that actually works. You'll see a lot of stuff for like rosemary oil. This is the one that actually has a nice amount of research and backing behind it that it'll actually work, right? It's not a miracle, but it does work, especially in the crown area. But does one of these work better than the other, right? When you go to buy one, you have to decide, so which one? You might as well know what you're getting, right? Let's start with the big thing. The difference is not going to be huge either way. Both of them are going to be 5% minoxidil for Rogaine. The only thing that you need to look out for is sometimes when you get a liquid, they'll do a 2%, which is a little bit, less effective. That's not with the Rogaine. The Rogaine is going to be 5% on both. So you're getting the active ingredient, which is the 80-20 of the whole thing, right? So then it comes down to other stuff like feel. The foam is going to give you a little bit more control. You put it right in your hair. It's going to make your hair look a little bit less greasy, and it dries really fast. When you use the liquid, you might end up with a little bit of kind of wetness and a little bit of greasiness, depending on how you apply it. When I use the liquid, I dab it just on my crown. I really don't even do up here in the widow's peak area because that's just not really how it works. It's really made for the crown. If you want widow's peak stuff, you want to look into like finasteride, right? But that is what I use. That's how I use that. I use a dropper, and I'll use a hairbrush that I use specifically just for this because you don't want like your wife or your kids grabbing your minoxidil loaded hairbrush, right? Okay, so dries faster, less greasy, depending on how much you put. And another thing, make sure that you're using the recommended dose. You don't want to put more. More is not more when it comes to Rogaine and minoxidil. You can't just regrow more hair by putting more on. It's actually going to lead to more flakiness, and it's not going to do anything. It's going to maybe even do some harm. If you're doing too much, it's going to cause irritation and all that stuff. One thing with the foam, you are going to probably experience less irritation just because you can control it more. You can really get in there and really put it in. With this, you kind of have some leaking. And sometimes when you're new to it, especially if you're trying to get up here on the temples, it might leak down. And as silly as it sounds, like if it's leaking a lot, you might actually start seeing some tiny little hairs growing on your forehead. If it's working, that is a thing. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Irritation, you're going to be less irritated. Usually, one of the things that actually is different in the formulas here is that this contains propylene glycol. It's just something that the foam does not have. So that can cause a little bit of irritation. It doesn't change the impact. It doesn't change how it works, but you will get a little bit more irritation. Not a lot, but you can experience a little bit more irritation with the liquid. Also, the foam is much easier for applying on short hair. Like if you're a bald guy especially, and you put the liquid on, it's going right off. I mean, if you're a guy who's shaved your head because you are self-conscious or just whatever. But if you have, hair like mine, either is fine. It's gonna not run down. Especially if I'm doing the liquid, I like to keep it up here because it'll spill a little bit, but it's not gonna go over onto my face. Cost-wise, you do usually pay a little bit more for the foam, and that's because people like the convenience. It's easier to travel with the droplets. Other than that, you're really not going to see much difference. If it's all about cost for you, maybe go with the liquid. They also do make really cool applicators. I'll link to that down below. You can actually get an applicator where you fill the minoxidil in there, and it will actually kind of create a mist. So you're basically then just kind of getting this, and it's having that propylene glycol. So those are really the big differences. Another thing to consider, again, it's the minoxidil. Women can use regular Rogaine. They do make it for women, but there's nothing about it that's different. I've never experienced any sort of side effects in terms of, things that you would get, the side effects you would get with like an oral, like a finasteride. Those you can experience different side effects. This is not going to be like that. I mean, there are some side effects for some people reported, but it's not like women can't use regular Rogaine. It's kind of more of a marketing thing, right? So keep that in mind. Also, if you're going to go with a generic brand, totally fine too. Just make sure you're getting that 5%. With a brand like Rogaine, though, I do like them because you can trust that the numbers and everything that they're saying about, is it really 5%? If you get it from some knockoff company, you're not 100% sure that that's real. Rogaine's a legit company. They've been around for forever. What they say is what you get. All right, so that's really the two big differences. I kind of go between the two. I like them both. Right now, as you see, I've got two of each. Sometimes I'll switch it up based on the day. It's really not a huge deal, but it is, you're going to be buying this every day for as long as you want to keep your hair. So you might as well know. If you're trying to maybe save a little bit, maybe go with the liquid if you don't mind the greasiness. If you have short hair and you want less greasiness and maybe less irritation, you go with the foam. But really the big thing is just that you use it regularly as advertised. Don't try to use more to get more hair growth. It doesn't work like that. But yeah, great product. Definitely check it out. Whichever one you go with, just make sure you're consistent in using it as directed. I do have links down below to this and then a couple of other alternatives and also that cool applicator that I was talking about. If you decide to go with the liquid, it's kind of a nice little option. See you guys in the next video.